be jumping around, so you follow me. I'll call out where we're going, and if you want to get the whole thing, read it when you go home. But we're going to go first. All right, everybody there? Genesis chapter 1? Okay, so again, follow me. We're going to do 1 through 4 and then jump around. But in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void. Come from the New King James. And darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, and it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. Go down to 6. Then God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Go down to 9. What else God said? Then he said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. Go down to 11. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass and herb, yield that yield seeds," meaning that it has its own seed. You won't have to do it again. "And the fruit trees that yield fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth," and it was so. Now go to 14 through 16. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons, and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth." And it was so. Then God made 2 great lights, and the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made to start also. Now go to 20. Then God said, "Let the waters abound with an abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the face of the firmament of the heavens." So God created great sea cultures and every living thing that moves, with which the waters abounded according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth." Now go to 24. We're almost done. We're walking through the blueprint. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creature according to its kind, cattle, creeping thing, and beasts of the earth, each according to its kind." And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth according to its kind, cattle according to its kind, and everything that creeps on the earth according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. Then God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." You may be seated. Now, so what we're seeing here is a blueprint. So we're seeing that God had in mind the creation of the world. He was creating the earth, and he laid everything out. Now notice what he did. What he did first is he created everything. He created the day and the night and the land. He created the animals, the seas. He created everything first, and then he created man. So if you think about how God works, what he always does is he prepares for us, and then he'll send us. He'll prepare for us, and then he'll place us. Like Jesus said, when he left, he said, "I'm going to my Father's house. I'm going to prepare a place for you, and then he's going to come and get us." So that is the way that God does things. So he prepared the earth for man, right? Now, what happened in the heavens is that there was some situations going on to disrupt the blueprint that God had for mankind. So what happened is that Satan, he decided that he wanted to be God. He wanted to be like God. So after man was created, after he was subduing the earth, remember God brought the animals to Adam, and he told them to name them. So once God laid down the foundation, he gave it to Adam. He told him to subdue it, have dominion over it. He brought everything so he could name it. So Adam was created to run this, right? This is man's territory. We were created to run it. But it was not Adam and Eve. It was Adam, right? Keep that in mind. So God gave Adam the instructions to subdue, to run, to plant. Okay? Now, Satan, he decides that he wants to be God. We know what happened. We'll go ahead and just read that real quick. In Isaiah 14, you don't have to stand. I'll read it real quick because I'm just laying out this foundation. I want you to see what's going on in the foundation of the earth before we start. So, Isaiah 14, 12 through 17. And it reads, in King James, how you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. How you are cut down to the ground, you who weaken the nations. For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation, on the farthest sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. Yet you shall be brought down to Sheol, to hell, to the lowest depths of the pit. Those who see you will gaze at you and consider you, saying, is this the man who made the earth tremble, who shook kingdoms, who made the world as a wilderness and destroyed its cities, who did not open the house for the prisoners? So Lucifer, he was the minister of music. He was created with the instruments and the windpipes, so that he would open his mouth and beautiful sound would come out, and he would cause the angels to bow down and reverence God. So with doing that, he decides he wants that for himself. So he wants to be like the Most High God. And then we read in Revelations 12 and 9, and war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought, but they did not prevail. Nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old called devil and Satan, who deceived the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So now, Lucifer is kicked out of heaven, right? And so first he was God's enemy. He was God's enemy until God gave us the dominion, until Adam and Eve came. And then when they came, we know the story how they God instructed them to eat of everything in the garden except for this tree. And then they went ahead, Satan deceived them. But what he did, he went to not the man, but he went to the woman. But keep in mind, he didn't pull her off to the side and whisper and deceive her. He deceived her, and it says that she ate of the apple, and she gave it to her husband who was with her. Now we see the first place of where men are not in their rightful position, where men are not moving in their authority, because he could have stopped her, because he was the subduer of everything. But we're not getting into that. I'm not here to bash y'all about what you should have did. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying he was with her. So that was the fall of man. And then when the fall of man came, then God said in Genesis 3 and 15, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise thy heel. That's now when the enemy became not only the enemy of God, but the enemy of God and man. So what he's been doing ever since then is he's been attempting to overthrow us. Because now we know when they did the apple, then we lost dominion, because we heard that Satan was the ruler of this world. And then it took Jesus to come to save us, to reconcile us back to God. But before we do that, let's talk about how he is moving. So what he does, the same thing that he tempts Jesus with, is what he tempts us with. He tempted him with the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. And that's the same thing that he's doing now. But see, Satan, remember, he was in heaven, right-hand man with God. He knows how God moves. So he knows that in the blueprint of the earth that it is men who are the foundation of the earth. Not mankind, but men. And the reason why he knows that, again, because he knows the things of God, some of the things of God. He was very intimate with him. So he knew that when God said that there will be enmity between the man and the woman, he knew that he had to do something. He knew he had to stop. So what he's done is he's came into our homes, because the enemy works against men in a few ways, in confusion and anger. Those are the two main things, the two main ways that the enemy attacks men. And how he starts, a lot of men grew up without fathers in the home, okay? And a lot of men that did have their fathers in the home, the dad was there, but he wasn't really there, like in the skit. So because that has happened, then men are not learning how to be men. Men are growing up and they go through life without having a clear idea of what it is to be a man. And then you have society in one of the world wars, I think it was two, that's when everything changed for men. Because back then, it was simple. The woman, she worked in the house, she took care of the kids, she took care of the home. The man, he went out and he worked and he brought back everything. But now things have changed. See, it was easy for a man to be a man, and a woman would easily submit because she didn't have any money. She didn't have anywhere to go. So even though things were bad, way back then they would get beat, cheated on, the man would take the money, but they still stayed. Not just because of, but because that was kind of the order. If they left, what would they have? They'd have been here 20, 30 years, and now all of a sudden he's acting the fool. I can't go anywhere. But today things have changed. When all the men went to war, then what happened is the women had to get the jobs, right? So then men came back from the war. Women are working now. Women are taking care of themselves. They're taking care of the household. They're seeing that they can do this, and then they had a door open so that they can work. So now the man, when he comes back, he sees now that he might not be too needed. So then we go from that generation on down and on down and on down to where we have today. So now today you have the men in the home, and the man is there, but he's not really there because he comes in half the time, he's coming into a ready-made family. So the kids don't respect him because they're not his kids. The woman doesn't really respect him because she's making the money. It's her house, it's her car, she's buying the food, she's cooking the food. So now men have lost their identity and they don't have anything to really fall back on. So the only thing that they have is their anger. And that anger is fueled because they have a lack of self-identity. It's an identity crisis, what's really going on. Men have lost their self-image. And meaning that, look at the world today with the self-image of men. Look at what they're wearing dresses. They're not, there's no masculinity anymore in men. They're not acting as men because, again, they don't have that foundation to go back on. They lost their self-confidence because it's hard to be confident as a man if you don't know what it takes to be a man, and it's hard to be confident as a man when a woman is acting like she's more man than you are, and we do, and then they lost their self-concept. If you don't have anything to base yourself on, then who are you? And in order to find yourself, you have to go to the Word of God. Because if you don't have the Word of God, if you don't go to God to find out who you are, then you won't really know how to act. If you get a cell phone, when you get your cell phones, you open it up, you have to go to the manual. You got to look up something to see how to work that cell phone. Same thing with men and women, but with men, you have to go to God to find out who you are, because that's who you find your identity. In the Bible, man, God calls man a lot of things, but if you're not reading that, then you don't really know who you are. But let's get back to the way, that he deceives men. So, again, centuries have passed, and men are in a state of crisis. And with this identity crisis, most men, they're turning to the streets, because in the home, they're not feeling wanted, they're not feeling appreciated, they're not having any self-respect from anybody. So what's happening is they're starting to go outside of the home for different things. And when I say the enemy is working on them through confusion, confusion is because he's causing them to look at the world and what the world says that a man is. The world says that if you don't have a car, if you don't have a house, if you don't have land, then you're not a man. If you're not running the woman, if you're not providing, don't have money in your pocket, then you're not a man. And so that's what the world is basing their manhood on. And that causes men to fall into depressions, to fall into different areas of stress because they're thinking that they need to live up to these things. And see, the world is really quick to tell a man what he needs to do, what he needs to stop doing, who he should be, where he should go. But no one is focusing on the fact that the reason why men are acting the way that they're acting is because men are hurting. There's a lot of hurt in men today. It's a lot of deep-rooted hurt, and men don't deal with hurt. Men don't talk about this. No one focuses on their mental health. Not even women. No one, especially the black community. Nobody's focusing on their mental health. Men don't focus on any kind of health, really. So they don't. They're not really expressing how they're really feeling. Instead, what they're doing is they're taking out how they feel on you. And instead of going to seek help, then they're holding everything in, or they're turning to different escapes, women, drugs, alcohol, because they don't feel that if they are a man, that they should go to anyone and say, I have anger issues, I need help. I have low self-esteem, I need help. I don't know how to be a man in my household, I need help. So because they won't do that, the enemy knows that he can use that to push them away. So what is happening is it's causing a division in the home. It's causing a division with the man and the wife and with the man and the children, because the man doesn't know how to raise the children because he wasn't raised. Daddy might have been there, but nobody was really instilling anything as far as being a man. So then, like the skit was saying, so then what the man does is he'll work, and he thinks that he did his job because he worked. He provided, he's paying bills, he worked. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, because that's all they know as far as being a man is you're supposed to provide. But while the man is supposed to provide, and while the man is supposed to care for the home, and while the man is supposed to do all these things, who is caring for the man? Who is concerned about the needs of the man and the hurt of the man? Who's paying attention to that? See, you don't hear that on TV. You don't hear that anywhere. I wouldn't have even thought of that if God wouldn't have gave that to me. I focus on my hurts and stuff because I'm a single mother. I got these bills. I got these kids. I got these things. I'm not looking at a man being hurt because a man is supposed to be a man. That's what we're raised. They're supposed to be a man. You suck it up and take it. You're the man. But nobody is paying attention to the fact that they are hurting. And if you have hurting men, then what do hurt people do? They hurt people. So that's the way that the enemy is able to get to the man, because he's keeping him quiet about that pain. Every man in this room, every single one of them, and this is what God told me, and this is how I know, every single one of them right now are dealing with some hurt and some pain, and it's deeply rooted, very deeply rooted, and they're not talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. So God is saying, for the men, you need to address this, because it's some things that he needs to get through, but you got this deep hurt. You won't let anybody in, definitely not a woman, because you know how we're trained to look at you, and we are trained to look at you in a certain way, because no one is going to the word for who a man is and for what a man is. Now, God has so much faith in men that when he created everything, he didn't even let it rain until a man was here. That's how much faith that God has in men, not mankind, but men. He held back the rains because there was no man to till the ground. So God is saying that men are a part of his blueprint. You guys are the foundation. The world is built on your back. And the enemy is going to try to bring these confusions in. And also what he does is he uses the media. And in the Bible, it's called a medium. And a medium is a way to be able to transmit information from one point to another point without even being there. So what the enemy does is he uses the media as his medium. So in the media, we see all these things. Now, it's not even a whole lot of subliminal messages anymore, because he knows that he can run rampant. So he has all the naked women causing lust. He has all the flashing money, causes, desiring money, and things. So men are chasing these things, thinking that they need these things to be men. But these are not the things. God is saying that you are mighty men of valor. God is saying that you are the salt of the earth. God is saying that you are the heads. He said that it is Christ, and then under Christ is the man in the household. It's not equal. It's not 50-50. Women like to say we're equal, we side by side. No. And a lot of times people like to say man is the head and man is, above. But actually, man is not above. Man is beneath, because beneath is the foundation. Without the foundation of this building, then this building wouldn't stand. So man is the foundation. You are the thing that holds it together. How a husband actually means house bond. And it means that the husband is the one who bonds the house together. So without the foundation, without the bond of the husband, then it can't be stable. And the enemy knows this. He knows this very well. And so what he's doing is he's trying to cause. Listen to some of the songs. You hear a lot of the songs talking about how men would rather kick it with their homeboys than their girls. I don't spend no money on no female, but me and the homies and stuff, because it's trying to cause a separation. So what we need to do as women, we start with women, what we need to do, when we were created, then we were pulled from the rib, right? And what does the rib do? The rib protects all the vital organs in the body. That's what the rib does. So we are actually also protectors. But we don't have to worry about protecting everybody else if we protect the man. If we cover the man, then the man, and if we feel the man, because remember, we are help meet, not help mates, help meet, help him meet his potential in God, help him meet the things of God. We are to help meet, and we are to cover him. So if we are doing what we are doing, if we're covering them in prayer, if we can try hard to bite our tongue when they act how they act, if we can try to do that, if we can do that, because this is what God is saying, this is not me. Y'all know me, so y'all know this is not what I'm saying. This is, okay. Look like you back to God saying, yeah. So back to what God is saying. If we can do that, then we can help build them, because now what's happened is we're in a generation where it's late. It's late, and the only that way that we can expect for things to change is if someone is paying attention to the hurt that is in the man, to the confusion that is in the man. If we want things to change, yes, pray without ceasing. But if we want to be saved in this earth, because Jesus gave us the power already. He came, he told us what to do, told us how to do it, gave us the power to do it, and then said, do it. And we're still praying, Jesus, can you do this? Jesus, can you do this? And he's sitting up here looking like, I gave you the power. But the problem is the enemy, he is really distracting the men. Now, I'm not saying, ladies, just stay with that man. He ain't no good. You got to stay with him, and you just got to wait and hope he get it together, because you are the helpmate. I'm not saying that that's for your husband. But what I'm saying is, if you see that your man is lacking, not just your husband, but if he's lacking in some area, pray to God to see how you can help him, because see, the enemy, he's going after us, but not like he's going after the men. Not like, so we can get a word across. We can have a train of thought to where we can take time to pray and to cover them, because we don't know what it is. One of the hardest things to do in America today is to be a black man. I'm glad I'm not one. I'm glad I'm not one. It's one of the hardest things to do and to be. So mothers, you have sons. Cover your sons. Cover them, because the enemy is after them. He is after them, and he is distracting these kids with everything that he's got, and they're so blinded to everything that's going on. And the men, they're trying to do what they can do, but how can you help somebody when you're beat down, when you're weighed down, when you don't even know what to do yourself for yourself? How are you going to carry a whole family and you can't carry yourself half the time? And then who are you going to talk to? Who are you going to tell? You're going to tell the woman that's looking at you like you're supposed to be a man, that you don't know what to do. You don't really know how to be a man. And that's why men say, well, just tell me what you want me to do. And we get so mad when they say, just tell me what you want me to do, because we want you to think of it yourself. But God is telling me, with everything going on, it's hard to do that. It's hard for a man to do that. So now, good, I don't know. But now, men, God was, he just wants you to know that He wants you to be reminded of who you are. He wants you to go to Him for your strength. See, this is the thing. This is what God expects from us. He expects so many great things because here's the thing. We know that God is great, right? And we know that He does everything on purpose, right? And we know that everything that He puts His stamp on, that He expects it to be good because His name is right on it. That's why a lot of things He's doing, He's saying for my name's sake. So men, He needs you to stand up and take your place because you are, everything that your hand should touch should be for His name's sake. Now, He's not going to send you out here and expect you to do all these great things, brag about you all in the Bible, and then expect you to just fail. So you have to seek the source. This is the thing. If you are truly ready to walk with the Lord, how do you know what He expects of you if you don't read the Word? How do you know what to do if you don't talk? If you don't spend some time getting in the Word, that's where you have to start. And you have to commit to getting in the Word because the enemy is after you. And you have no idea how he's been after you since the fall. Since he was kicked out of heaven, he's been plotting on you. And let me show you. See, when I was younger, I thought that he was just after us because it was a battle between God and the devil, and they wanted to see who could win the most souls. When I was a kid, that's what I thought. Then as I got older, I thought, well, He just hates us because God loves us, so that's why He wants us to go to hell. Then I came across 1 John 3:2, and it said, Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doeth not yet appear what we shall be. So we don't yet know what we shall be. But when we know, let me start over. Beloved, now we are the sons of God, and it does not yet appear what we shall be. But we know that when He shall appear, we shall be like Him, for we shall see Him as He is. I started thinking about that. We shall be like Him. We shall be like Him. That's why. That's why the only thing He wanted, the reason why He got kicked out of hell is because He wanted to, or heaven, thank you, is because He wanted to be like God. But because He knows the things of God, He knows that when we see God, we will be like Him. That's why He's after you. That's why He's after you. And because in Scripture it says that you cannot overthrow, what is the Scripture? It says, Jesus says, no man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, then he can spoil the house. So now, okay, one, the enemy knows that when we see God, we will be like Him because we will see Him as He is, be like Him. I've seen Him, I've walked with Him, and I can't be like Him, but they're going to be like Him, so I'm going to have to attack Him. But because I was in heaven with Him, I know that He's riding on the men in the earth to carry everything to completion. So that's who I'm going to go after. So that's why it's all this confusion. That's why it's all this anger. Men, first thing you have to do is admit you got anger issues. You got to admit it. You got some deep-rooted anger. I ain't saying that you just popping off at everybody and you hate everything. I'm not saying that. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that deep-rooted anger that you got, that you're not letting go, that you're not telling nobody. You got to find out the source of that. So you got to admit it. You got to accept the fact that you need some help with it. You need to accept the fact you need the help, and then you need to commit yourself to seeking help and getting help. And then once you seek yourself, commit yourself to seeking that help, then whoever you decide that you are going to allow in to help you, and it has to be somebody who has succeeded in the same thing. Don't go to your homeboy. You want to go to him about your marital issues and he ain't got no woman, or he been divorced 3 times, or he can't keep nobody, he cheating on it. Don't go to him, but go to somebody who's striving in their marriage, who's working in their marriage. You got anger issues. Don't go to somebody that's still anything to set them off. Go to somebody that you know they used to be like this, but now they're a little bit different. Now they hold their tongue, they hold their peace a little bit. You gotta, and then once you find that person, commit to them. Commit yourself to them for a little bit. Yes, I know we commit to God, but here on earth, commit yourself to some man that has been through something. Let him mentor you. Take his advice. Let him help you. And then once you do that, then you can move because everything is right on you. I'm sorry to put all the pressure on you, but God did it. Everything is right on you. Every man in here, every teenager in here, when you come of age, every kid in here, it's on you. It's on you. So you have to take your rightful place. You have to know who God is in order to know who you are. Because if you don't know that, then you can't fully be what God is calling you to be. So I'm challenging every man in here. Admit it. You got that deep hurt. It's been there for a long time. It's deeply rooted. It's in there. Every single man, God told me the other day. I was with another day, and he said, every one of you, every single one of you had that deep-rooted hurt that you have to address. You have to address because it's holding you back. It's holding you back, and God is calling you to grow. So I pray that you guys got something out of that because I wanted to say some other things. You guys want me to read what I was going to say? Are you guys ready to eat? Did y'all get that? Are you getting what God is saying? Because I got some real good notes up there. I mean, it's really good. I learned a lot about y'all just in writing this stuff. So I can't read it to you if you want me to read it. But I just decided to let God just speak. And that's just what God wanted to say. I didn't have to put all my, intelligence in it because I got some intelligence on this paper. And I can give you the intelligence. But I just wanted God to say what he wanted to say. And what he wanted to say is that it's nothing new going on. The enemy has been doing it. But now he is just really destroying you guys. He is really running over you guys. And God is watching and he's hurt. He's hurt. He's sad. He's sad because you're sad. And you won't get up. You won't come out of that. You keep turning to all these other things that are not helping you, that are not pleasing you. God is saying, go to him. Go to him. You don't have to do it with anybody else. You don't even have to tell anybody else, but go to him. And then commit to getting some help for that hurt, that pain, that anger. God is really focusing on that for all the men. So ladies, now we know their secret. When they get these attitudes and act all this kind of stuff, and don't, lady, you know how we do, you just angry because you got that deep-rooted anger. Let's try not to do that. Let's try not to do that, but we know it's something going on. We can't be too mad at them because they're not who we know they can be. You know how you see a man, you look at a man, and you know his potential. If he would just see himself, if he would just see it and just act like it, that's what we think. But that's because the enemy is not pushing as hard on us as he is with them. That's why we can see these things. And that's why we have to protect everything vital in them and cover them. Now, we can't make them do anything, so don't wear yourself out. Don't beat yourself up because he won't change. He won't just give it to God. Give it to God. I'm the first one to get mad. Everybody here knows me, Pastor. He be like, well, you looking for something wrong. When I be dealing with somebody, and then, you did that wrong. Nope, I got to go. Pastor was like, how long was that? 3 days? You didn't give him a chance. I ain't got no time for no chances. But, that was my thinking, But now that God has revealed to me, it's something more going on than what you can see. And you need to cover him. Don't stress yourself, don't drain yourself. Because he still is a man. He ain't no baby. You know what I mean? But we can start at home. Father, start with your kids. You know what you're going through. You know what's hurting you. You know why you're angry at your dad. You know what happened. Be something different for your child. Be something more for your child. Don't let them feel that. And another thing, men talk about, they don't really know what to say or what to do. Just teach them stuff. Stuff that you went through that you wish you wouldn't have went through, tell them so they don't go through. All you have to do is talk to your kids. Just talk to them, your experiences, just like you talk to your homeboy. And let them learn some stuff from you. Let them grow from you. So that's just it today. So women, let's cover them in prayer today and every day because it's a battle that we know nothing about. And it's a battle that's been going on forever. And if you look around, we see who's winning. I hate to say it, but the enemy, he got y'all. He got y'all. But there is escape. There's a way of escape for anything that you go through. And it's through the word of God. So we thank God for the written word, which is the Bible. We thank God for the living word, which is his son. And we use both of those things to get closer to God. Find out who you are. I am so sorry for all the hurt that you guys are going through. I'm so sorry that you feel like you can't talk to anybody. I'm so sorry that things are so hard for you. I'm not supposed to cry. Well, let me just get that. I'm sorry because I'm not going to be up here crying. But, my heart goes out to you. Get some help, talk to somebody, express it somehow, get it off of you, and then be who you need to be in the house. So remember, you're the foundation, you're the house bond, you're the husband, you're the covering, you're the strength. Everything does rely on you, but that's how God meant it to be. That's how God meant it to be. He created everything here, and then He placed you in it, and He gave you responsibility. So take that responsibility, seek the Word of God, find out who you are in Him, find out what you need to do, teach your kids, teach your sons men, teach your sons to be men, teach your daughters to be women, teach your daughters to respect themselves, help your daughters to not yearn for things that they're lacking from you in other men. Spend time with them, talk to them. Your words carry weight. So God bless you, thank you, and good night.